Toy Story video games have been some of the most fun video games across all generations of consoles, dating back to the SNES and Mega Drive days. So when Toy Story 4 the movie came out last year, I was really excited for Toy Story 4 the video game, but we never got one. Now I did an episode last year about why we need a Toy Story 4 video game, but it turns out Disney just didn't listen. But one thing that stood out in that episode was the mention of Toy Story Lego the video game. Now I think it's pretty certain we're not going to see a Toy Story 4 video game, but I think there's a pretty good chance we might see a Lego Toy Story video game. In this episode I want to discuss why we need a Lego Toy Story video game, the difficulties behind creating one, and a small light at the end of the tunnel that might mean that we could see one in the future. So hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, kick off your shoes and relax your socks while we talk about Lego Toy Story the video game. Now first things first, let's get right into why we need a Lego Toy Story video game. Like I said, Toy Story games have been some of the most fun and exciting games across many generations of consoles. Toy Story 1, 2 and 3 all had amazing video game outings that were all unique and different in their video game style, but equally fun and engrossing. Now if you want to hear more about those video games and find out why they were so amazing, then you can check out the episode above. But one thing's for certain is that it means that Toy Story is a great recipe for a video game. Now like I said, I think there's 0% chance of seeing a dedicated Toy Story 4 video game. However, I think there's a much better chance of us seeing a Lego Toy Story game. And one of the reasons behind that is because I think the Toy Story franchise is a fantastic fit for the Lego video games. Now first things first, there already exists a Toy Story range of Lego, and this has existed for quite a while. In fact, there's actually two variants of the Lego Toy Story toys. One which matches more the kind of stylings and look of the Toy Story characters, and version 2 which is more true to the natural Lego aesthetic. Now what this means is that Lego, already a company that plays very well with a lot of other franchises, already has links to Toy Story and Disney. And there were even some Toy Story 4 adverts using Lego characters in those adverts as well, which gives us more reason to believe that Lego Toy Story is a viable option for a video game. On top of that, we also saw some Toy Story characters in the more recent Incredibles Lego game as well. So this shows us that there already exists models of Toy Story characters in Lego form, and for the ones that maybe don't exist in virtual form, they already exist in the real world, so it would be easy to translate them to the video game world. Now the next reason why Toy Story would be so perfect for a Lego video game, and the most important one in my eyes, is that it perfectly fits the theme. There's so many amazing characters and so many amazing scenarios from across the 4 Toy Story movies. It's not uncommon for Lego video games to cross multiple episodes in a franchise with the likes of the Star Wars games and Incredibles as well. So the Lego Toy Story video game could hit points from Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3 and the recent Toy Story 4 as well, making for an epic and amazingly fun video game experience. Now just some of the settings that pop to mind right now that I think would be amazing to explore in a Lego Toy Story video game are places like Andy's house, Pizza Planet and Sid's house from Toy Story 1. We could then even look at areas like the Space Command, Al's Toy Barn, Al's house and the airport from Toy Story 2. And then if we look at Toy Story 3 and 4, we could have areas like the Sunnyside Daycare Centre, the Antique Store, and the one that would be probably my most favourite and what I was looking forward to most if we got a Toy Story 4 video game, the fairground. Now just imagine how amazing it would be to be able to explore those areas and look for all the collectibles and select from all your characters from Woody, Jessie, Buzz, RC, Rex, all of the characters that would just be so amazing to play in Lego Toy Story. I mean, even just thinking about being able to go back to Pizza Planet or even Al's Toy Barn and having the freedom to explore those areas and search out collectibles right now just gets me so excited, and I would love to play that video game. But not only that, just like previous Toy Story video games, I believe there could be multiple modes of playing as well. With characters like RC and Duke Kaboom, you could have racing levels or even stunt levels as well, and it could be a real true sandbox video game with all the amazing Toy Story characters and settings. So now that we're excited about a Lego Toy Story video game and we know how amazing it would be, let's talk about the probability of it actually occurring. Now, if we look at the recent history of Disney video games, and we look at a game like Toy Story 3, that was created by Avalanche Software. Avalanche Software were part of Disney Interactive Studios, and from the mold that they created Toy Story 3 from, they went on to create the Disney Infinity franchise, which spanned 3 games and was very, very successful. Avalanche Software did an amazing job with Toy Story 3 and did a brilliant job transferring the learnings from that game into the amazing Disney Infinity franchise. However, in 2016, Disney Interactive Studios closed down, and so did Avalanche Software along with it. However, shortly after that, Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment bought Avalanche Software and revived them to bring out the game Cars 3 Driven to Win. Cars 3 was a great video game for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and you could see it had the same driving gameplay mechanics that we saw in Disney Infinity, meaning that the studio that brought us Toy Story 3 is still alive and kicking and creating Disney games, even though Disney Interactive Studios has closed down. But what's more interesting about that is Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment, who bought Avalanche Software, are actually the creators of the Lego video games. Going back to the early 2000s, we've got Warner Bros. Interactive to thank for the Lego video games that we know and love today, starting with the Star Wars saga. Now, in and amongst all those Lego video games that we've seen from Warner Bros. Interactive are also a couple of Disney franchises, with the likes of Pirates of the Caribbean and The Incredibles. So right there, we have Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment that have already created Lego Disney video games, who have now bought Avalanche Software, who were involved in the Toy Story 3 video game and Disney Infinity, and were closely tied with Disney Interactive Studios altogether. Surely that means Lego Toy Story with the existing toy line must be a certainty. However, there is a spanner in the works. Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment is currently being looked at to be closed down, which might explain why we've not seen any Lego video games for a while. Warner Bros. Interactive is a small part of a much bigger conglomerate that comes under the name of AT&T, and as far as money coming into the business for them, Warner Bros. Interactive is a small drop in the pond. So right now, AT&T are looking at closing down and possibly selling Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. So that means that despite the amazing recipe that we've got for an amazing Lego Toy Story video game, we might never see it if Warner Bros. Gets closed down. However, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. With the next generation of consoles coming out, and Sony and Microsoft looking to buy up as many studios as possible to bring in-house to make their games first party, there are thoughts of Microsoft possibly buying Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. And if they did, that would inject brand new life into the possibility of a Lego Toy Story video game. Now, the caveat to that is that it may end up being a Microsoft exclusive game, which means we might only see it on Xbox consoles. However, if a Lego Toy Story video game exists, I will be happy, and I do not care what console it appears on. Especially if we end up seeing it on something like Project xCloud, which means I could be playing Lego Toy Story the video game on my mobile phone. How amazing would that be? But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. Would you be excited for a Lego Toy Story video game? And if you would be, what would you be most excited about? Let me know in the comments below and let's have a discussion about it. Now, if you enjoyed this episode and content like this, then hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on a single episode. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time. A big thank you to all my patrons who help making these episodes possible, including Hillazing Retro Gaming. If you want to show your support for Chronik Spartan games, then you can head on over to chronicspartan.com and check out our indie games. You can become a Chronik Spartan patron at patreon.com, or you can kick off your shoes and relax your socks with some Chronik Spartan merch from tpublic.com. All links are in the description below. But the simplest and easiest way to show your support is to just hit that subscribe button. Thank you for tuning in.